Let me tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. If a Libra ever looks at you, smiles gently, and says, "Oh, I didn't even notice," there's a very real chance they noticed everything. Not just the obvious thing. Everything. Your tone shift. The hesitation in your voice. The message you unsent. The effort you stopped making. The way you only tried when it was convenient. And here's the part that feels dangerous. Sometimes Libra pretends not to know, just to see what you'll do next. Now before you decide that sounds manipulative, pause. Because what looks like a game is often a test of integrity. And most people fail it without realizing they were being evaluated. Libra is ruled by Venus, yes. People reduce that to beauty, romance, charm. But Venus isn't just about love. It's about values. What do you value when no one reminds you? How do you behave when no one corrects you? Who are you when you think you're not being watched? Libra is a cardinal air sign. That means they initiate social structure. They understand dynamics. They read patterns in behavior the way some people read weather. They are not just in the relationship. They are analyzing the relationship. And here's where it gets interesting. Libra doesn't like conflict. They don't enjoy dramatic confrontations. They don't thrive on explosive arguments. They don't need to corner you with accusations. Instead, they do something quieter. They step back. They remove their reminders. They stop correcting. They stop smoothing things over. And then they watch. Not obsessively. Not with paranoia. But with precision. Because the truest version of you only appears when you think no one is keeping score. When someone confronts you, you adjust. When someone questions you, you defend. When someone calls you out, you perform accountability. But when no one says anything, that's when character reveals itself. And Libra knows this. So if they notice you pulling away in a relationship, they may not immediately say, "Hey, what's going on?" They might just go quiet. If they notice you forgot something important to them, they may not remind you twice. If they notice you're being inconsistent, they may not argue. They'll create space. And space is where truth shows up. Here's the first emotional drop. You think everything is fine. Libra hasn't complained. They haven't raised their voice. They haven't accused you of anything. So you assume there's no issue. But what you don't see is that Libra is recalibrating. They're measuring effort. They're tracking consistency. They're noticing who initiates when they stop initiating. And this is where people get blindsided. Because when Libra finally detaches, it doesn't look explosive. It looks calm. It looks rational. It sounds like this. "I've been noticing this for a while." That sentence means the test has been running for weeks, maybe months, and the results are in. Now let's go deeper. Libra doesn't pretend not to know because they enjoy catching you in a mistake. They do it because forced behavior doesn't mean anything to them. If they have to tell you to care, they don't feel cared for. If they have to tell you to be honest, the honesty feels contaminated. If they have to tell you to step up, the effort feels artificial. They want self-regulation. They want you to show up without being chased. That's their definition of balance. And balance is everything to Libra. The scales are not about winning arguments. They're about equal energy exchange. If Libra is always initiating conversations, they'll stop and see if you do. If Libra is always planning dates, they'll pull back and see if you plan one. If Libra is always resolving tension, they'll step aside and see if you can resolve it too. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When Libra steps back and nothing changes, that tells them everything. Now we rise again. Because when someone does step up voluntarily, Libra feels immense respect. If you correct your own mistake without being confronted, Libra notices. If you apologize without being cornered, Libra softens. If you sense distance and close it on your own, Libra feels safe. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for awareness. That's why so many people underestimate Libra. They mistake politeness for ignorance. They mistake silence for obliviousness. They mistake diplomacy for weakness. Until they realize Libra saw the imbalance the entire time. They just wanted to see if you would see it too. And here's where it starts to feel a little dangerous. Libra remembers patterns. They may forgive a mistake. They may overlook an off day. But repeated behavior becomes data. And Libra collects data quietly. They won't always tell you they're disappointed. They'll just adjust their investment. Less enthusiasm. Less vulnerability. Less effort. Not dramatically. Gradually. And if you're not paying attention, you won't notice until the warmth is gone. Now let's take this into love. Imagine you start texting less. You cancel plans more often. You stop asking about their day. Libra notices immediately. But instead of confronting you, they might mirror your energy. If you give one-word replies, they'll respond with one word. If you take hours to respond, they'll stop prioritizing immediacy. If you stop planning, they'll stop overcompensating. They are not playing games. They are restoring balance. And here comes another peek. Sometimes Libra knows about the lie before you confess it. They sense inconsistencies. They catch subtle contradictions. They read micro-expressions and tone shifts. Air signs are pattern processors. But Libra doesn't always expose you instantly. Why? Because a forced confession is not the same as a voluntary one. If they confront you and you admit it, that's pressure. If you come forward on your own, that's character. Libra wants to know who you are when no one is pushing you. That's the real test. Now here's the shadow side. When Libra observes for too long without communicating, resentment can build. Because the other person doesn't know they're being evaluated. There's no open conflict. No dramatic argument. No obvious red flag. Just silent scoring. And Libra doesn't always announce the scoreboard. So when they finally say, "I think this isn't working," it feels sudden. But for them, it's been processed thoroughly. They have replayed conversations in their mind. They have weighed your effort against theirs. They have examined whether this dynamic is sustainable. Libra doesn't leave impulsively. They leave after analysis. That's why when they're done, they're usually done. Now let's zoom out. In friendships, Libra might be the one organizing everything. Planning the dinners. Coordinating schedules. Keeping the group harmonious. Then one day they stop. No announcement. No drama. And suddenly, the group falls apart. Plans don't happen. Tension rises. No one steps up. Libra watches. Not smugly, but curiously. Who takes responsibility when I don't? And if no one does, they learn something valuable. At work, this becomes strategic. A Libra leader won't micromanage endlessly. They'll give you space to manage yourself. They want to see who is self-directed. If you only perform under supervision, they notice. If you maintain standards when no one checks, they respect you deeply. Libra believes maturity is what you do when no one reminds you. And here's another drop. If you ever thought a Libra was clueless, if you ever assumed they didn't get it, if you ever underestimated their awareness, there's a strong chance they were letting you reveal yourself. Because here's the secret most people don't realize. Libra doesn't need to expose you. They just need to stop protecting you. When Libra stops smoothing over your mistakes, when they stop defending you in conversations, when they stop giving you the benefit of the doubt, the truth surfaces naturally, and they didn't have to say a word. Now let's compare for clarity. Aries sees a problem and confronts it immediately. Cancer feels hurt and expresses it emotionally. Scorpio investigates intensely and digs for hidden motives. Libra? They create a vacuum. And watch what fills it. That vacuum reveals character. And that's why when someone hears this description, they say, "That's scary accurate." Because they remember the moment Libra went quiet. They remember the moment Libra stopped arguing. They remember the moment Libra just observed. And they realize that was the turning point. Now here's the highest peak. Libra doesn't test you to see if you fail. They test you to see if they should stay. Let that sink in. They are not looking for reasons to leave. They are looking for reasons to believe in you. They want proof that effort is mutual, that honesty is self-generated, that care is instinctive. If they find that, they become incredibly loyal. But if they don't, they won't beg for balance. They'll restore it by withdrawing. And here's the final truth. Libra pretending not to know is not manipulation. It's an invitation. An invitation for you to show who you are without pressure. An invitation for you to choose integrity freely. An invitation for you to meet them halfway without being dragged there. So the next time a Libra smiles and says, "It's okay," ask yourself something honestly. Is it really okay? Or are you being given space to prove yourself? Because chances are, they already know the answer. If this hit a little too close to home, if you've ever been surprised by a Libra's quiet detachment, or if you are that Libra who has been silently observing all along, make sure you like this, share it with someone who needs to understand Libra on a deeper level, and subscribe for more deep psychological dives into the Zodiac. Because sometimes the most powerful energy in the room is the one that doesn't say a word.